Greetings and salutations, and welcome to another edition of the YouTube channel Too Many Plugins. I'm your host Alex, and today we're going to talk about useful Linux commands, and then Linux being for Ubuntu's and Debians, and Linux Mint, Linux Lite, and most distros out there. Some commands can be a little bit different if you're on Arch Linux or on there are some Linux versions that use a little bit of a different commands, but in general it's a little bit the same. So we're gonna go through some really handy commands over here. In the Linux terminal. Now, let me just quit this over here. Quit this screen over here. So we're gonna go just first through some handy commands over here in the Explorer. Now, of course, the first one we're gonna do that I already mentioned in the other episode is, of course, the cd command. If you want to quickly change directory, then you can just grab in your Explorer, in your file browser, your Explorer, you can grab documents, click it here behind CD, click behind it and do enter, and you're in documents. If you then do ls list, then he will show what's inside of that particularly document. The next command is clear. It's just to clear out any things that are still in the background running, so clearing out stuff. The next command is sudo kill all, and then we write behind it Firefox. This is a way to kill any kind of process. So if you make a hotkey, that Ctrl-T, you open your terminal. If your Firefox crashes or something and you're stuck or something, or a game or VLC player or something, you do sudo kill all Firefox, and that will kill all processes associated with Firefox. I think if you leave the argument free in the back, it will kill all processes except Linux processes themselves. So there you go. Of course, we have the sudo the apt-get command, apt-get, and then you can do install. And then write down Firefox behind it. And keep on writing behind it if you need other programs like VLC, and it will install a bunch of things all at the same time. So very, very useful command. The next command is sudo update. That will update your system. It will ask you for your password as always. Sorry about that, I'm writing wrong over here, sitting a little bit in a difficult position over here because of the microphone. So, and here we just update the system. Now we're connected, by the way, I've connected my repositories to a local technical university where I get the highest download speed here in Lisbon. Okay, then we have sudo upgrade. So that's upgrade. Upgrade, that's the next command. That will many times upgrade your system and upgrade the Linux kernel. So this is also a very, very handy command that you can use. Now the next one is the man command. The man command is a really, really handy command, VLC. So if a program that you downloaded from a repository has a manual, you don't need to go and look for the manual yourself online. You can just do sudo man, that's the man command, and then VLC. And here it will throw the user's manual for the VLC player. Quit to get out of this. So that can be very, very handy. Let's also try see if Mix have that. Yeah, it should have that, Mix, the DJ software. And there you go. So for you just to quickly get the user's manual, that's a fantastic little command over there. This is of course a very basic command for quickly explaining things and doing. Sometimes you can find more advanced manuals online. Q to get out of it. Will you now clear again to clear all of this out? Sorry about that. Clear. And now is everything out again. Now the next command is a very, very interesting command, and that is the command. If you if you're in the situation where your computer, Linux doesn't allow you to read or write to certain directories, and that can happen, especially if you go to, for example, home user shared files in the system files. Some of them are locked down for read and write, and it can sometimes be very, very complicated. If you want to get full read and write access, so particularly file or directory Linux doesn't want to write to, even if you're in root, then the next command is a really, really handy command. And I need to search it up over here. I don't remember it exactly how it was, but yeah. So what you write down is sudo as super user, so administrator mode, and then you write behind it, you write chmod space plus RWX, and it says read write for all users. That's RWX, and then behind it you copy the file directory that you want to have full read-write access to. So in this case it's user shared mixed controllers, where I was trying to copy a MIDI configuration to, and it didn't let me because it was read and write protected. So you can also here then just go to your file explorer and go to system files, and then we go, for example, to users, and then we go to shared, and then we can, these things are many times of them are all read and write or only read enabled, not write enabled. So if you want to copy a file over here, then you can, for example, you can take this line away over here. Take this line away, and then you grab. We want to do. Let me see which one it is. Let me go to mix over here or something, where I then yesterday did that. MOV. Yeah, mix. So there was this one over here. It didn't let me do anything to the controllers over here. And, you know, for the skins also, if you then download a new skin, then probably this one will also read and write protect. So what you can just do then is you take this, argument, you take away, and then you just grab over here, you grab the skins directory in the back. Now he has skins here in the back. We move this one away. And now, if we now do enter over here, we get read and write access to that file directory. So that's home user shared mix skins. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to have read write access to this. But that's just a way for you if you try to copy something to a directory and it doesn't let you because you don't have read and write privileges, then you can just do that like this. So there you go. Let me just here clear this out. So that's the CMOS command, really important command. Let's clear this out here so there are no more confusions. So any argument behind it just works. So there you go. Let me see if I can find it now again. Yeah, so sudo, that makes super user, then cmod space plus RWX, and then you write yourself the directory behind it, or you copy and paste it in, or you drag and drop like you just saw me do it, and then you get full access. It's going to ask you again for your password for that. So there you go. Anyway, that's a really interesting command that you should definitely check out, and you're going to probably need it. Now, the ls command, of course, is to show a part of a directory. So sudo ls, and here it's showing what's inside. You can do ls with this. Sorry about that. There you go. If you leave the space behind it, he goes even more into the subdirectories actually, and he shows you also with this symbol over here, shows you even hidden files. So that's also like very handy. Now, of course, we have also sudo, and we have reboot. Now, CD reboot is just what it says. It will reboot your computer. Then we have power off. That works also. Just sudo power off. And that also turns your computer off. These are also just like really handy commands that sometimes you can really use. Let me see if I can find something else here also that's an interesting command for Windows. Sorry, for Linux. The sh command, of course, that's to install binary blobs. So that sometimes you need to put that behind it, .sh. So this is also one that you can also quickly jump to a directory. So that's CD space, and then this symbol over here, I don't know the name for it, and then this stroke over here with videos. You saw it just jump now quickly to videos. So if you now want to quickly from videos jump to music, hopefully this is right in Portuguese, because in Portuguese there are always different names. Videos, let's go to home. Yeah, that doesn't work like that. Let me go. Yeah, that's always an issue that in Linux because it's a different language. Images. Yeah, it doesn't do it. Let me see how that's written over here. Let's go to. MOK. And now I'm in Mock over here. You see that? So let's do desktop over here. CD. Oh. CD / desktop. This is again always that problem that I have over here because it's with a capital probably. Yeah, Linux is very capital also sensitive. Now we're in desktop. So CD and then this command, and then you write down the directory that you want behind it. So that can also be like just extremely handy, you know that, Let's go over here, take this away, see if it's, because in Portuguese the names of these things are different than in English, and sometimes when you're in the terminal you don't have actually the translation. So some things, sometimes when you write them in Portuguese, then they don't really align with what's actually in the root directories. Many times more in English. Oh. Yeah. Always the same that I do. Always forget here the capitals. Images, and there we are. So that works also quickly. Exit. Let me just close these ones over and open the terminal again and just refresh it all. So that's also like a really handy command. Now let me just go here, see if we have some other commands that are really interesting to find something about. So the cmod command we had already, ls command we had already, that's just list. Yeah, then cd home. That was just installing something. That sysinfo, that's really not so interesting command. Just to get some general information from your... And then the search command, of course, that's sudo opt search NVIDIA driver or Firefox or any program that you got from a repository that you downloaded. Then you will show you all the versions of the driver or the program that are available. So also like a really interesting command is. So we have also, of course, I don't know if you know that program, but I don't know if I say the name quite much, the name right, but there is a program. I'm not going to even say the name because I don't remember exactly the name of the program, but Cron something. It's a program which is like really, really interesting, is because you can over there let your computer in certain times do things. And you can also let it, how do you call that, start programs when you start your computer. So it automatically opens them programs. It's a Cron, something like that, with Cron. It's a really, really interesting program. I don't have it installed over here, but that's also like a really, really handy program where you can just in the command line, you can let them open programs. You can even put times behind it that he opens certain programs on a certain time, which is like actually like really, really, really handy, you know. Then there's also things like power off, so you can also do, that's by the way also an interesting one. Let's see if I can find it. Sudo ls clear, this do power off. Of course I didn't do that because I didn't write it down. So if you do, for example, you do a sudo off, power off, or reboot, power off or sudo reboot, then you can do behind it, you can write 15 or 10 minutes, and then you only power off in 10 minutes. These are also just things that are integrated in Linux. With Cron, you can even go really much farther than that. That he literally even, you can let him even do things like synchronize your time several times per day with Cron. So that, like I do, sometimes I need to be synchronized with server times, with universal time. When I do some radio amateur stuff, then we use programs to send messages over each other over the radio, but your clock needs to be synchronized to be able to receive the messages and not being transmitting over each other. And let me see, that is what's the name of that program? Chat. No, it's not ChatGPT. What's the name of that program? GS8 call. And in Cron, I can just let them several times per day automatically just update the time from the international time servers, which is like really, really handy, you know. So Cron is also a thing if you, for example, if you want to create a Windows box, but one that you turn on and it immediately loads Steam in big picture mode, or you have a window display where you want it always to in a shop show something the whole day long, and you don't want even that the employees in the shop need to do anything, then you can just with Cron you can set up a box where the employee pushes the power button, and that thing just by itself loads up all the programs and starts by itself doing all the things. And then you can even program Cron in a way that in the end of the day at 6:30 when the shop closes, that computer automatically turns itself off, you know, and then the next day you turn it on, it automatically loads the programs, and the employee needs to only push the power button. So Cron is a very, very interesting program also. But anyway, here are some basic commands that in Linux are very, very, very useful. Be always careful with Linux, because there are also commands that can absolutely trash your system. So always pay attention to that, you know, because Linux is extremely powerful operating system, and on the terminal, on the command line, you can literally destroy your system. In Windows, that's a little bit more difficult to do, because Windows has a lot of protection against that kind of stuff, you know, but then also doesn't allow you to do a lot of things that Linux allows you to do, you know. So a bunch of interesting Linux commands. To get, like you saw, the one is really, really interesting to get read and write things, and to drag and drop to quickly change directory. The man command, very, very useful command. And then also just the power that you have of doing sudo up reboot, sudo up get update, install, all those kind of quick things that you can do. And with the install command, you can do Firefox VLC, keep on writing behind it, and keep on installing programs all in one go, you know. So the kill all command also very, very handy. Sometimes we really, 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 really need that, you know. So here are a bunch of handy Linux commands that you can just quickly, and also, of course, you can always just use the terminal to load up something quickly. There you go. I just write it to VLC and it just opens VLC player. So sometimes people don't even know how quickly actually the terminal can be. If you have it programmed that your terminal opens with Control T or something, or Shift D or something, then you can just open your terminal, VLC, and it just opens. You don't even need to be looking through your programs, So, and you can also then in the background see what VLC is doing. Now it's not doing, but if I start playing stuff here and start doing stuff, you start here seeing the game or the program actually what it's doing in the background. Because it's open source, it shows you what it's actually doing, that can sometimes also for certain programs and internet applications be very, very handy to check in the back what it's doing, So there you go, clear that out, by the way. And sometimes commands in Linux, they are so simple that you think by yourself, no, it couldn't be that simple. And you try it out and it actually just works. And that's a thing I had many times with Linux, that I tried commands that I didn't even know the command. I just thought like, hey man, it cannot be that easy. And then it is that easy, So Linux, very powerful operating system. You need to find yourself a little bit your way around. This is what I'm showing you also here. By the way, also come back to a viewer who had a question about Cakewalk. I've tried to install Cakewalk using Wine and it didn't work. And I've also tried to use Bottles and I couldn't make it work also. But I'm going to be honest, Bottles is not an easy program to use, and you need to watch the whole tutorial to work good with Bottles. But you can probably have a good success with using Bottles. Then look to a small tutorial how Bottles is working, and then probably you can get a Cakewalk installed. Bottles, just as Wine, can install most Windows applications, especially in Zorin OS that you are using. So use Bottles, look to a small review. I haven't been investigating Bottles long enough, because I actually just a couple of weeks ago discovered that Bottles exists, and I listen that many people have lots of positive things and get a lot of Windows programs running with Bottles. So try out Bottles. If it works or not, I cannot tell you, because I haven't had time yet to really go into Bottles. So for that Cakewalk user on, I think it was on Zorin OS, and probably on Linux Mint, you're gonna have the same experience, or Ubuntu Debian. So anyway, thanks for listening. I hope this helps out some people with some handy commands, and I'll catch you in the next one.